there's something interesting about everybody in the world. So you got to figure out what that is, and that's the game. That's the fun part of it.
Okay.
Dude, because one thing I've learned about club chicks is they may not be interesting when it comes to world travels, reading books, fucking doing crazy cool shit with their life. But their social intelligence is so off the charts, like good. They understand calibration on such a deep level. They can't verbalize it like nerds like we do, but they've been going to clubs since they were 18 and been in more social interactions than their outliers. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy picking their brain about social stuff and about. I don't know. I still. I just feel like my mindset's more like there's something you can learn from everybody, and I don't. Not that I sit there and like love talking to a drunk 21-year-old and think she's super interesting. Of course not. But I also think like if you pull a girl aside and you ask her the right questions, she'll give you answers where you're kind of like, oh, I wouldn't have expected that from her.
Okay.
People,
Yeah, that's
I
a
think.
cool way to approach it.
What do you say?
That's a cool way to approach it. Like you
Well,
actually like get like it's almost like you're kind of getting creative with like how you're gonna qualify this girl if like and that comes I can see like if I did that it would come off as really authentic.
yeah. Well,
Especially
you
for
just think
that.
like, okay. For example, I was a substitute teacher for my mom's fourth grade class a couple of times, and I don't honestly fucking like kids that much. I like little babies from like, I love kids from like 0 to 3 or 4, and then I hate kids from like 5 to 19. I hate them. But but like my mom's kids are fourth graders. But what I found was I way underestimated them and how smart they are and how cute and funny they can be. And how like they would give me answers and stuff. I'd be like, okay, I wouldn't have thought a fourth grader would know that. That's kind of cool. Or his take on it was weird, or it'd be like a different way of looking at the world that I just is not in my reality. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And when you get that's kind of the way I take qualification, where I'm just like, I don't really go in there. The old way of qualifying is going in there and trying to pound them with like interview where I'm judging you almost. The way I qualify is I already have attraction. I already know you're interested in me, and I qualify from a place of curiosity where I'm just trying to get to know what it's about. But for this kid that asked this exact question, I'm afraid what he would do in this environment. He's like the little brother type who's a really good kid, but like my dad told me one time. He's like, Nick, you're too quick with a smile. He said it's gonna hurt you in business. What do you mean by that?
That you're too quick with the smile and it's gonna hurt you.
But what does that mean? Thanks.
Yeah, no, I was like restating it because you kind of broke up. Like, that was my answer. Now,
What does that mean? What do you mean by that?
uh,
Have you ever met someone that was too quick with a smile, and it wasn't that didn't make them a bad person, or you didn't think they're pussy, but like, what did you kind of like? What is the thin slice of that?
would you not, I mean, it kind of depends. I feel like it kind of depends on the smile, but like I may maybe inauthenticity or uh, value seeking or
What was the second one?
too quick to give approval.
There you go. That's it right there. It's it's any of those three. But for this specific kid, he's the little brother who he just really wants you to feel good, and he really wants you to like him, but not in a way that he's weak. He's a strong kid. He's really healthy inner game, and he's killing it. But like he's he wants everybody around him to be happy to feel good, and he gives that. But what he hasn't internalized yet is that just because you smile at someone and validate what they say, that doesn't always cause good emotion.
Yeah,
And once you internalize that, you make a different shift, and you're like, wait a minute, you know what causes good emotion? Genuine conversation, and like genuine is when you're not judging someone, but you're not afraid to be like, I disagree with that, but I think this. Oh, you've been there? That's cool. I like that. Yeah, that's cool. Instead of being like, oh, I've been snowboarding. You're like, oh, you snowboard? That's really cool. Snowboarding's awesome. That is the same genre of being too quick with a smile.
yeah.
Versus being like, oh, you snowboard? Man, I love snowboarding. I've only been a couple of times, but I'll probably never ski again because I don't know, it's just such a good feeling. Where do you guys like to go? Guys are trying to get too much done with any one statement or any one question. Like it's not like that. Like qualification. One of the best things to do is just play the question game for a while, man. That'll really help you because the question game and go write down 10 questions before you go out. Because what you'll notice is you'll just force yourself to ask a question you probably would have never asked before, and the girl will give you a really cool answer, and you can't help but give a cool answer back. It drags you through getting good at connection.
Yeah,
Does that make sense?
yeah.
So if I was like, yo, Jake, what's the best book you've read in the last year, and like what it mean to you? I mean, I'm not saying that's a good qualifier. I'm saying if I said that to you, you'd probably be like, man, oh, this one because it made me think of this and this. Even if I didn't know you, say we just fucking started the Skype chat and we were going to ask each other questions to get to know each other, and I asked you that and you answered it, because I also read books, I'd probably be like, oh, no shit, I read a book like that and it made me feel like this, blah, 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 blah. And I would never even know you because it's just a random Skype chat, so I'd have no reason to impress you. So we just have a genuine conversation about books we've read.
Yeah.
And it feels really good to both of us. Does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely.
Versus being like, okay, I want Jake to like me. Jake, what's the best book you've read? Oh man, I read I don't know. I read Mastery by George Leonard, and it really helped me. And I was like, oh really? Mastery? I've heard that's a really good book. Wow, yeah, man, I kind of like that too. It's like I care less about connecting and stating what is real, and I care more about saying something that'll make you feel good and like me.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that you don't care about good emotions. You still want to have people have good emotions, but you just realize that being overly warm and overly smiley and overly agreeable doesn't necessarily cause good emotions. Because the problem is when someone does that, you're like, damn it, I don't really know the real them. Like, I'm not sure if that's real or if that's just them placating me. I mean, it helps my ego feel good, but I'm not sure if they genuinely give a shit about. I don't know if we have a connection or not. I don't know who the fuck I'm talking to. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Versus whenever I say something real and they truly are like, oh, fuck, yeah, me too, man. And they have something really legitimately, it's not just interesting, but like a real opinion on that. Even if it's agreeing or disagreeing, but it's a real opinion. Not that they shoot me down and make me feel bad because they have an opinion, but if they're like, oh, really, I didn't really like that book, but I really liked this book. Blah, 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 blah. It made me think this, this, and this. Man, da, 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 da. Like, at least it'd be a real opinion. Not that they would be like, oh, that book sucks. I mean, that'd be wrong too, right? But, or agreeing when you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. So let's say the girl's like, what are you most passionate about? She's like, I really love art, and my art just means this. It makes me feel therapeutic, and I mean, therapeutic to me, and da, 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 da. I personally don't have an artistic bone in my body when it comes to painting or drawing. So I'd probably be like, interesting. You know, I can't paint or draw, but I wish I could. That's cool.
Mm.
You know, that's just real.
Yeah.
But I didn't say, really? You can paint? Oh, it's awesome. I've always wanted to be able to paint. That is so cool.
Yeah, got it.
Or if she said the same thing and I went, oh, you can paint? Maybe you can do a nude sculpture of me sometime. Here. Yeah, I mean, that's funny is that same joke would be funny if we connected first.
Right.
If literally 10 seconds after. So if I was like, oh, no shit, interesting. I always wish I could paint or draw, but I don't have an artistic bone in my body, but I respect people who can. It's cool. I'm jealous. He was like, oh, thanks. Yeah, I was like, well, honestly, maybe, you know, on our first date, we can do like.
I want you to paint me like one of those French girls.
French girls, yeah.
That's great stuff.
Okay, but you guys, I hope you guys listen and see the calibration in that. Do you guys get that? That joke we just added actually makes it better. Yeah. Yeah, but it kind of releases that seriousness. But it's like, you need both, but you don't need both all the time. Like, where we're at in interaction right there would be 80% questions and connection, 20% sprinkled in silliness, like paint me like one of your French girls.
All right, cool. Is it okay if we back up to that one question I skipped?
Yeah, what was it?
All right, yeah, that's the last one. This one, yeah, I wrote this one.